So let's get into Mr. Jesse here.
Let's go, Mr. Britt.
So a quick introduction for Jesse. In the vibrant, evolving landscape of Los Angeles art, Jesse Fregozo stands as a vital bridge between the city's storied past and its hopeful future. A first-generation Mexican-American and native Angelino, raised in Boyle Heights, Fregozo's work is profound visual dialogue with the streets that shaped him. His journey is defined by a powerful lineage of mentorship, having been guided by the visionary Fabian Deborah. Jesse transitioned from a student of the craft to a master of the urban canvas. Today, as a lead muralist with Spark, contributing to the Great Wall of Los Angeles, and a lead teaching artist at the Homeboy Art Academy, he pays that debt forward. Today we sit down with Jesse to discuss the spark that started it all, the responsibility of the public artist, and what it means to paint the soul of Los Angeles. Did I do good on that? Was that okay?
Kind of, yeah.
All right.
That was perfect.
All right. So let's get into your foundation. I know that your relationship with Fabian Deborah was pivotal. Before you met him, what was Jesse the artist like? And then what was the spark that led you to pick up the brush before you even had a formal mentor?
Okay. Yeah, so hello everyone. And to answer the first question, which was, what started it off, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, growing up in my community of Boyle Heights,
Yes.
What's in here?
oh, sparkling water. So what started everything was everything was just in my community, right? It was in Boyle Heights. I attended a boxing gym, a local boxing gym, at the age of 8 years old. So I mean, I couldn't drive to the gym, so I would always walk or jog to the gym, and just walking and jogging to the gym every single day for 10 plus years. I would always see murals going up, existing murals already there, and that was what sparked the love for the arts. Seeing artists always working, color, vibrancy. It was almost like portals.
Sure.
You know, and that was what kind of sparked everything. And thank you. So that was the beginning, just muralism, public artwork, and then well, I began to like draw. And when I was in high school, I've never had any art classes, but I was always drawing and boxing. And then, I don't know, I mean, I would see some of like, whenever I would do like some of the shadow boxing in the gym, I kind of noticed shadow, and shadow, lights, and darks would always catch my attention. Even not just looking at myself, but just like looking at other peers performing, having, you know, like sparring sessions. I would always look at lights and darks, and I was always fascinated by it. Then was when I began to look more into the arts, and I discovered work done by master painters like Caravaggio, Italian painter, right? Well, I would always focus lights and darks, and I was like, damn, that looks like yesterday's sparring session at the gym.
Sure.
So then that was where the bridge and connection started between art and boxing.
Okay.
And then when I began my career more in a professional level, going to college and taking it more serious, that's when I discovered that, you know, I wanted to be an artist. There was one point that I wanted to be an architect as well. I always wanted to be something in the arts, for sure.
You said architecture?
Yeah.
I wanted to be architecture
Oh,
too.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just has something to do with the details.
Yeah.
And I think I wouldn't say too much about the newer architecture that's coming up, but I was always mostly love the details in older buildings too.
Yeah.
I think as artists we just look at details like that, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, for me it was always the love of demolition and construction. You know, that was something that always it would drive me crazy seeing things going up, seeing new buildings up, and then people going inside of them and not falling apart. You know, yeah. Especially as a kid,
Yeah.
that also kind of like really drove me into architecture. But then just growing, and then just growing in the arts. You know, like exhibiting work for my first time. That was, I think, what literally sparked everything as well. My first show was my first art show was in Washington D.C. And I was only 16 years old, so that was a huge start. Yeah. And then when I started to take it more serious, then it's when I really put more thought, emphasis, and like learning new stuff along the way with new mediums. You know.
Do you have a favorite mural in LA?
Of course I do.
What's your favorite? Yours? No.
Yours? No. It was
Well,
actually
growing up, what was your favorite?
Yeah. So I have a story for that one. I think you'll laugh. You know. So I would always see this mural, always, right? Going to the gym, coming back from the gym. I was only about 14, 15 years old. When I began to make that one my favorite mural. I was going to the gym one day. No, I was coming back from the gym one day. Everything was going good. I mean, we were preparing for a blue versus gold tournament in Indio, California. So I was always training hard. And I remember that one time that I was coming back from the gym, I got a purple eye. The whole training session was good. Everything was perfect. But I got hit with like a bad uppercut. Just at the end, when I was already gonna start cooling down. Yeah, after a long training session in the gym. And boom, I get caught like right here with like a bad uppercut. And then I go back home and feeling in shame with the big eye. And then I'm about to cross the street and I just look across and I see the Corrido de Boyle Heights mural. This mural was done by my mentor, Fabian Deborah, and the East Los Streetscapers back in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
When Cesar Chavez Avenue was called Brooklyn Avenue. So that's my favorite mural. And the reason why it's my favorite mural is because when I was about to cross the street and was waiting for the light to turn green, I was feeling so angry and so in shame because of the purple eye that I had, that I looked up and then I was like, damn, at least those figures are having a fun in the wall. And then that's when I began to see murals more.
So
like
the mural that you saw was by Fabian.
Yeah.
Did you sought after Fabian to work with him, or
no?
How did that?
Well, the thing was,
that's a huge coincidence, though, right?
Well, yeah, of course. But the thing is, I didn't even knew Fabian had painted that out, like during that time. I just knew that it was a nice mural because of the colors, because it spoke Boyle Heights and it represented what I kind of felt fit my scheme. Like identity. It showed my identity, it showed my community, and it showed my culture.
Nice.
So that was where it kind of, that was what began the love for that mural. You know, what happened at the gym, beautiful colors, and that it was in the community.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool deal. So we're gonna fast forward. You currently are, you're still working on the Great Wall, right?
Yeah.
And then it's now showing part of it's showing at the Jeffrey.
At the Jeffrey Deitch Gallery. Yeah.
Yes. So if you guys should go see it, it's at the part of it's at the Jeffrey Deitch, which is the last exhibit at this space because they're closing.
They're closing down their LA location.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations on that. So what does it mean for you to contribute to the longest mural in the world?
Well, it's a complete honor to work next to an amazing team, and next to the art director Judy Baca, which I grew up seeing a lot of her work, admiring some of the stuff that she's done in the past. Like uplifting feminism and uplifting opportunities for various artists. So it's a complete honor to work next to her, but more specifically also like the artists that are part of it. Artists that are from different parts of LA and knowing each other. And
you pretty much live there, I would think, at this point, right?
kind of.
Every time I call him, he's like, "Oh, I'm at Spark. Oh, I'm just getting off. It's 8 o'clock at home." So it's like it's a lot of work. But when you see it and you just think this is going down in history, it's going to be completed by they're trying to finish it by the Olympics, right?
Before the Olympics, yeah,
Yeah,
2028.
And do they have a showing set for when it comes out for completion?
Yeah, so basically, before we complete the whole thing, it's gonna be traveling around various institutions in LA, like Skirball, the Hammer Museum, LACMA, and other locations as well. So, yeah, so it's gonna be traveling, and we're constantly working on it. It's of course it's open to the public.
Fabulous.
So if any of you guys are around Santa Monica, the Bergamot Art Center, we're there open.
Oh, so
7
we
days a
can
week.
actually see you in action.
Yeah.
Paint. Okay.
Yeah.
You never told me that.
Oh. But now
I mean,
you
that's
guys
a,
know, you know.
That's a cool
Yeah.
experience, though, to see
Oh,
that in action.
Yeah, and then I think it's pretty cool because you guys will get to see how it is that miles and miles and miles and miles of artwork is printed on a single location, which is kind of like outrageous and kind of like it's kind of weird to see it, but when you see it all in movement, it's like seeing scrolls and scrolls of artwork just moving. Yeah, the construction behind it is under too, the art, the design, and everything, execution of work. Yeah.
Can you repeat where the location is?
Yeah, it's at the Bergamot Art Center.
Great.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
Field trip.
Field trip.
Yes.
All of us. That's
Yes.
good.
So, to my next question, as a first generation Mexican American, how do you balance traditional cultural symbols with pop culture elements that often surface in your designs?
Well, you know what? I've always kept ground on culture, but I've always known that. I mean, I can't say I'm Mexican when I was raised my whole life in LA. So I kept my identity as an Angelino. So that is where I keep ground. And I always find a way of connecting generations after generations of like work being done throughout time. I don't just focus like on Aztec glyphs or Mayan glyphs because that would just signify me as as a Mexican or like growing like in the southern like Southern America. I just feel that I'm on like the artist of the world, like
Nice.
creating my own glyphs, creating my own artwork that represents and gives me identity.
Nice.
Especially in the city of LA. It's pretty cool.
So, I know you just came back from Mexico. Can you tell us a little bit of that experience? Especially you went at a time when there was like, I was telling you don't go because there's like cartel on the loose or some crazy madness. I'm like, just come back in one piece because we got to show it in, so can you tell us about that experience and how you got involved and where your art's at there and what's next there too?
Yeah, so it was a great experience being there. I mean, the food was great, the drinks were great,
I'm sure.
and it was cool. The way that everything happened,
But
the show.
so tell
meeting
the
people.
audience like how.
Yeah, Guadalajara.
Yeah, so it was in Guadalajara, but why were you there? Like, what started that conversation?
Oh, okay. So I hadn't have been there in like 13 plus years, and what took me there in the beginning was because my mother passed away about a year and change, and we went and we laid her down to rest. But I was already looking into these galleries that were out there. Why? Because I wanted to have something in a future time. But I never thought that it was gonna come so soon. It just caught me off guard. But then when I was there, I was like, you know what? I mean, let me go ahead and keep it old school. Let me go ahead and knock on their door, see what happens. I went. I introduced myself to them.
What's the name of the place?
The place is called Casa del Arte, House of the Arts.
Okay.
Yeah. I went. They had they had a show going on at the time, and I was looking at the work. The work was incredible. I really liked what I was seeing. The director of the place, she then came over, and then she told me, if I liked what I was seeing, and of course I told her yes. She told me if I was an artist. I responded yes as well. We engaged in a conversation, and then we discussed, and then like went into dialogue about my work. We began to discuss some of the work I've been doing over here in LA, and she checked me out. She did her research, and
Google
she.
you.
I don't know. I think that she did.
Yeah.
And she invited me to her back desk, and then we began to talk. And then she gave me a date. She told me that when that I wanted to have a show, if it was sometime soon or when. And then I told her that whenever she had opened, but not this year, the beginning of next year, which was this.
That's this one.
Yeah.
And how did the show go?
It went really well. I mean, we were in constant communication because I couldn't be there all the time, right? So we were always like doing like Zoom meetings, calling each other, and then till the show happened. I took 10 original artworks over there, and they're on display right now as we speak.
Yes.
Yeah, show's coming down at the end of this month.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
So I
Yeah.
mean, that's a good inspiration for even other artists. Like, just go knock on the door, pretty much, right?
Yeah, because I mean, it kind of shows that you're that you have some type of strength, like that you're ready. It shows that you're ready, and that you're there to show something. Like,
It's a huge feeling. I don't, just so people that are not artists, when people say I want to just even buy your stuff or hang it on the wall, it hits us differently, right?
Yeah.
Because when we do a piece, I would say it's still a part of us,
Yeah.
right? And then when it's done, you're kind of like giving it to the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's almost like you're like it's almost like if you're like a cook, like you're marinating everything
Yes.
and preparing everything.
Yes.
And then once it's all done, you lay it down and you're ready to serve.
And I better get my Michelin star, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah, as you said. Yeah.
Next question I have for you. We kind of touched on it a little. What is the single most important lesson Fabian taught you that that you now find yourself passing on to your students, because you're a teacher too,
Yeah.
at the Homeboy Art Academy? What's
Well, the lesson that he's always taught me is to always do what's called praxis, the praxis program. Which is you teach what you preach. And I've been doing that for the past years. I gain all of like the knowledge that I have to paint for my community, and then I just produce it, make artwork in the studio, and then I lay it down, and I whatever I inhale, I exhale. So then I exhale the work that I've inhaled through my community and through like identity and through like my culture and stuff. Yeah.
So what is the most profound transformation you've witnessed in a student when they realize they lived an experience that can turn into high art?
Well, in juvenile hall, because that's where I teach, right? I teach in juvenile facilities, and it hits different because many of them, they're already into the arts.
Okay.
Many of the kids are into the arts, and many of them are into the arts because they love, like tattoos. They love lowriders. They love, like their hoods. They love everything about that. So the way that I meet up, that we meet halfway, is by showing artwork that they could connect to. I show them some of like portraiture and calligraphy work. And that's where the
Is
connection
it just
begins.
drawing, or are they painting too?
They're just drawing,
Okay.
graphite pencil drawing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then ballpoint pen, and so then that's where everything kind of like decides. Well, that's when they decide to kind of put more attention into what I'm there for. When I'm there, and then they see it, and then they start doing it, and then they're like, "Oh, damn! In the beginning, I didn't know how to do this, and now I'm creating work, and I can't stop making it, right?" Like that's where you know that you did your job. And then, which is even more cool, is like when they come back, and they come back looking for you, like they're out of the system they're out of jail, they're out of juvenile hall, 17, 18 years old, they come looking for you at the art academy, and then they know that you're there, they look some of the work you're doing, and then they want to come and help you out. That, I mean, come on.
Yes,
You know?
it hits different. Yes,
Yeah.
I teach little kids, so
Yeah, for
and
sure.
their faces light up when they can be creative, and
Yeah.
I'm even pushing them like, add more, whatever, or you know, they just so into it.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling to see that.
Yeah.
I have one last question, and I open it to the floor, and then we'll do
Mm-hmm.
some quick fire rounds.
That's cool.
You often paint real people from the neighborhood. What is the most memorable reaction you received from a family after seeing their loved one immortalized on a massive scale?
Well, there was. I mean, I painted a few portraits, a few figures throughout my career, but there's one specific one that I'm never gonna forget, and it was because it was a tragic event, and how everything kind of like how everything arose after the painting was done, with him, his family, the arts. And how everything is kind of like more settled now. So there was one of the kids at the Homeboy Art Academy. He wasn't he didn't know how to paint, but he just loved the arts. And he would always love hanging out with me in the back of the in the art studio, right? With me, Fabian, and then my homie Obet. We'll be painting in the back, and he was always there. And then one of the times that he got there, he was just very quiet and very, you know, like to himself. And then I was like, hey, what's up, bro? I mean, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? And then he had told me that his mom had just passed away on a drive-by. Not gang related at all. His mom passed away, missing bullet. It hit her mom, well, his mom. And his mom passed away. And then I was like, damn, that's hard to hear, right? But I looked at him and he was feeling, you know, he wasn't feeling it at all. But he had always told me, hey, when are you gonna paint me? When are you gonna paint me? So then when I decided to paint him, I was like, here, come, I'm gonna paint you next. And I was working on a piece and I stopped and I decided to paint him. I painted the work and then I showed it to him at the end. And then he had just gotten a tattoo that said his mom's name right here. His mom's name is Esperanza, which in English stands for hope. And that's where I named that painting. I named that painting Esperanza, in the representation of hope. And he loved it. He never thought I was gonna do it for him.
Nice.
Yeah, and that painting actually Obed bought it, and it sits in his office.
Oh, really?
In ELAC, East Los Angeles College. Yeah, he's a professor there. He's an English professor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one, I mean, once he saw it, he had a lot of respect for the arts after that. He didn't just like it, but he began to embrace it. He began to do art of its own, and he still keeps a connection here and there.
Oh, good.
But at least he sees now our craft different, and he has totally taken it and run with it, you know,
Nice.
which is important.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, speed round. You ready?
Cool.
Okay. I have 10 questions. Make them just quick. First thing that comes to mind. Acrylics or spray paint?
Acrylics.
Best spot in Boyle Heights for a post-mural taco?
King Taco.
King Taco? Really? Okay.
No, yeah. Hey, just was genuinely mad I was
doesn't-
there, bro.
Nah. I'm like, it doesn't taste the same to me, but okay, I'll take it. One song that's always on your studio playlist?
Little Wing.
Okay. One song? He just play Lil Wayne all the
No,
time?
no. I mean, a whole ton of them, but I mean, that's the
This
first one,
is
yeah.
okay.
Or do you know, like, some Jimi Hendrix?
Jimmy. Okay.
Yeah.
Dodgers or Lakers?
Lakers.
Sketching on an iPad or traditional paper notebook?
Traditional paper.
Favorite mural in LA? I think
Yeah.
that isn't yours. We talked about that already.
Yeah.
Coffee, Red Bull, or just pure adrenaline?
Pure adrenaline. Yeah.
And not liquor.
No, a little
Okay.
bit, yeah.
If you weren't an artist, what would your 9 to 5 be?
Damn. I think an architect for sure.
An architect?
Yeah.
Okay. The first word that comes to mind when you see a blank white wall?
Tons of fun.
And then our last question, define home in one word.
Art.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was good, huh?
Yeah.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
Cool.
That's it.
Well,
Drink more wine.
Drink.
I'm sure Chris will
yeah,
enjoy that.
Thank you guys for coming. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. You like it? Yeah. Damn. Thank you. Yeah.
How are you, sir? Good. I'm glad you made it. Hi, Bridget. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that this happened. And
Did you like it?
It just sparks a light for more.
Did I do okay?
Of course.
I asked the right question?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Come